You're listening to the Stallion Radio Network.
Welcome to Movie Talk. I like to live dangerously.
Did you hear this?
Yes. In the face.
And here are your hosts, Brian Seals, Brett Seals, and Vic Vasquez.
Bienvenidos a otro episodio de Movie Talk Radio. I am your host at the Torvik23.
And I am Brian Sills, 1.
And I am Brett Seals at the Podcast King.
You arrogant
Pretty
person.
ballsy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't
ballsy.
taken, so.
It wasn't?
No.
You have to put like a 1 or like a 0
No.
or something?
I was just looking for Podcast King, but that was taken.
I kind of want to change mine now and see if I can change it to Movie Talk host.
You probably could.
Movie
That's a good
Talk
idea.
1.
Maybe, yeah, see?
No,
And
no.
then 2 and 3 or something?
I wonder if we could do that.
Yeah, you should.
If
You
we
should
can
be able to.
Or unless we have to create a new one.
No, you could change your name.
I think I might do that.
Yeah, you should try it.
Well, those are our Twitter names. My real name, of course, is Vic. We got Brian and we got Brett in the studio. And this week we're talking a lot of stuff. Of course, this is the re-recording of the show that we had on Tuesday.
We try to give you a Thanksgiving special before actual Thanksgiving.
Which was, I thought it was probably one of our best shows, not going to lie.
Yeah.
It was probably one of our best shows. Everything just kind of came together. Everything was just good. And just
wasn't
the
good
file
enough
went correct.
apparently because we had some complications.
Yeah.
But we hope
We
you guys
lost
had
the child.
Oh,
We lost it.
Yeah, malfunctioned.
it malfunctioned.
But new software update, so we're good.
So hopefully everything goes well. We, like I said, man, we have a great show today. We have, of course, some. I said the word. Now I got to pay $5 to charity. But we do have a great show. We have news on a star that passed away, of course. I'm sure everybody has heard about it. Pretty sad about that. We have Batman vs Superman news. We have Star Wars news. We also have pretty much everything you want to hear about movies this week, TV shows. We have everything.
Star checked into rehab. That was
Star too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
a lot of shocking news for sure.
A lot of
Yes.
shocking news.
The aftermath of Thanksgiving and Black Friday.
Yeah, how was your guys' Thanksgiving, Brian? I know how yours was.
Well, yeah, you were here with me.
We were
so.
together.
It was great, man. You know, just family, friends, and food.
Food
a lot
coma.
of food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm still here after
I know.
all that food. Really.
I was exhausted on the Black Friday though.
Actually, my Black Friday wasn't that bad. So
I had to do a double header, so I was pretty well spent.
We do have a lot of Black Friday news as well. We have some stars shopping around on Black
Yeah.
Friday.
I was kind of amazed by like hearing what like you experienced and then like what I experienced, even though I didn't actually see the person that they were talking about. But like a lot of people were saying.
But they went to your store though, or
Yeah, they were
like
in
the
a
company
store,
you work
apparently.
for, anyways.
It was pretty cool.
I made my first Black Friday purchase actually ever in
Was
my
it a
life.
DVD?
It was
Was it a movie?
It was the new iPhone 5C.
The color, right?
Yeah, the
What
color.
color did you get?
I got white, very generic. I'm not gonna get pink, or blue. It's just
Breast Cancer Awareness Month, you know.
they were sold out, but
Good.
of hot pink. Yeah, it's very popular apparently. Maybe for that reason, for breast cancer. But yeah, I went with white. But yeah, crazy hectic week. But we were able to squeeze in the re-recording of our failed episode, which actually was a very good episode we had.
It really was, yeah. So
So pretty much, you guys are gonna get 2 for the price of 1 this week.
Yeah.
and we also
You're gonna
have
get
a
this
show
one, and
coming
then
up
you're gonna
on
get-
Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes.
So-
But let's dive into it.
Yes.
We were talking about should we act like it's Tuesday, but
you might as well. No.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
we talked about
It's
it.
Sunday now.
It's
so
Sunday,
You might
guys.
as well just deal with it.
it is the 1st of December, so happy December, guys. It's getting heated
It's
up.
almost Christmas.
Yeah, very close. A lot of things getting interesting in the film world, but December 1st, on this day in film history, going back to 1935, he was born Alan Koningsberg, though the world knows him better as Woody Allen. He was born on this day in Brooklyn, New York. He's one of Hollywood's greatest screenwriters/directors. He holds the record for most Oscar nominations for Best Original Screenplay with 15 nominations.
Wow.
And also holds the record for the most Oscar wins for Best Original Screenplay with 3 wins for Annie Hall, Hannah and Her Sisters, and Midnight in Paris. He also won a Best Director Academy Award for Annie Hall. So when it comes to Best Original Screenplay, Woody Allen's name is at the top of the list. Happy 78th birthday, Woody Allen. Still going strong today.
That
Wow.
he is.
That's all that happened, but I think it was pretty noteworthy.
That's a good one.
Just to have that one.
That's a good one. Yes. Well, also, this past week, we had some DVDs that came out. 4 of them came out. We're going to talk about Ethan Hawke's Getaway, because that came out on DVD this past week.
Selena Gomez, right?
Yes. Yes.
Looked too action-packed. I'm not an action fan too much.
That we know.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a big action. I like action movies, but this one just didn't really catch me. I had no interest in watching it.
It looked too cliche. Oh, we're gonna take your wife, and you have to do all these things before you can get her back.
I mean, I honestly,
Selena Gomez.
yeah, I don't really care for her for one, but
John Voight was in it.
yeah, John Voight was in it. He's good, but
Yeah, he's a good actor.
it's nothing against Ethan Hawke. But I think I was kind of still upset about watching The Purge.
Yes, definitely.
So I was like, I'm not gonna watch this movie. So yeah,
Bad
yeah,
aftertaste for sure.
yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I mean, I know it's one of those things, but he came out with The Purge and this movie kind of
Yeah.
It was at the
around
same
the same
time.
time. I know they
Successful
film,
year, kinda.
like they film them differently at different times. Sometimes they get pushed back, whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that he came out with 2 movies around the same time, I was like, that's never really a good sign if you're coming out with especially for those kind of movies. It's not a Lord of the Rings, it's not a Star Wars or anything. It's just one of those movies.
Got a fat paycheck, I'm sure.
I'm sure he did.
Because The Purge
and
made
he
a
got
lot
to
of
hang out
money.
with Selena Gomez for a while.
Yeah, so that's cool.
That's never a bad thing.
No, not at all.
Well, also out on DVD is Ashton Kutcher's Jobs, where he plays Steve Jobs.
Still want to see this,
I do
actually.
too.
It got mixed reviews. Didn't do too well in the box office, but I'm still curious.
Well, maybe if I wait long enough, it might come on Netflix.
Don't
Don't
get us
count on
started.
it.
I know,
Don't get us
I
started
know.
on Netflix.
I had to throw it in there because every other Jobs, Steve Jobs scenes on there. So
Yeah, it came out.
Never
quick.
know.
Redbox it.
I don't know if I really want to Redbox that one.
It might be a waste of $1, but
It very well could be. I might just have to wait for it to come on TV.
yeah, maybe.
Well, also out on DVD that came out this past week was Red 2.
Yeah, pretty good cast actually.
Yes, I wonder how much Bruce Willis had to ask for this movie.
Right? I know. He wanted, what was it, $3 million for 1 days of work on The Expendables?
Yeah, greedy.
For 1 day's
For one,
work.
yeah.
Crazy, right?
I'm just shaking my head over here. I'm just like,
Yeah, can you hear it
what?
rattle? No, but I mean,
No, it is full
I
up
kind of
there.
lost a little bit of respect after I heard that.
I know, greedy.
Honestly,
bastard.
you were a good action star back in the 80s, but, come on, dude.
You need a walker now,
Times are changing.
for sure.
And last but not least, what came out on DVD, something we all are big fans of, Breaking Bad.
Well, I'm not sure if Vic's, he hasn't gotten into it yet, have you?
I said I was going to start it, and I do want to start it, but I just haven't started it.
Well, I know,
I like that
I
sometimes.
know. Once he starts, he's gonna be a fan of it. So,
Yeah, it's definitely worth the time.
but those came out
Yeah.
Yes.
this past week.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. You talked about buying it earlier today. About
Well,
buying
yeah,
the
I want to
complete
buy
series.
it. I actually have a segment which I can't really say or do. I can't bring it onto the show until I actually finish watching it. So,
And it kind of spoiled a few things for you, which is just
I kind of already
unfortunate.
knew some things were gonna happen. So, I mean, it wasn't really much of a spoiler.
I just hate
but-
being spoiled. It's not fun.
It happens. It happens.
I will unfriend you if you tell me a spoiler.
Oh, we won't.
No, well, not you, but I'm saying just everybody. I
Yeah.
hate spoilers. I want to put in the time.
To
If
actually,
somebody
yeah.
just, years later, like, oh, hey, this happened. I'm like, I'm only 2 seasons in or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like, really? You told me that?
Watching a TV show is a
Yeah,
commitment.
see, if I was maybe only in the second season and then I read that, then I probably would have been upset.
pissed, yeah.
But I'm already toward the end, so to me, it's not a big deal.
I feel like I would be more pissed if I was toward the end and got spoiled. But I mean, it's. I mean, I guess some of the things that you were spoiled on were kind of expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I mean, I kind of knew certain things. I'm
Yeah.
not going to get into it just for Vic's.
For Vic's
I don't want to
sake,
ruin
yeah.
it. But,
Thank you.
yeah, I kind of already was expecting some of
Yeah.
these things to happen. So it's to me, it's oh, okay, not a big deal.
Yeah, it'll still be surprising when you watch it, but yeah.
But yeah, if anyone, because I'm watching Sons of Anarchy right now, if anyone spoiled that for me,
Ooh.
then I would freaking kill.
Well, you have a lot of time to catch up. They took a week off for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I believe it's the season finale this coming Tuesday.
Yeah,
So
what season are they? What season are they on
6?
right now? 6.
5 or 6, yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
see, I'm already halfway there.
And The Walking Dead has its
Mid-season finale.
mid-season
today
finale tonight. Yes.
Woo-wee!
With the governor, and he has a tank.
Yeah.
He has a tank. He was bad enough when he was just the governor. Now he has a tank.
He's got a tank now.
Things are getting intense.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, but yeah,
Everything's gonna be on lockdown. Get it? Because they're in a prison.
Because they're
yeah. Those are the
Herschel
DVD
is a badass,
releases,
though.
though.
Yes. And we're gonna talk about this past week's box office results. And yeah, I wasn't right again.
I was right.
Yep.
Well, at number 10, we had the Dallas Buyers Club, which I really want to see. Made 2.6. At number 9 was 12 Years a Slave, which made 2.8. At number 8 was Gravity, which made 3.2. At number 7 was Bad Grandpa, which made 3.4. At number 6 was Las Vegas, which made 4.3. At number 5 was Freebird, which made 5.3. At number 4 was Delivery Man, which made 7.9. At number 3 was The Best Man Holiday, which made 12.4. At number 2 was Thor: The Dark World, which made 14.1. And at number 1 was The Hunger Games: Catching Fire, which made 158. Whew.
In addition to that, it's made, what, $100 million more?
110 million.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Because today is Sunday now, so they got a chance to
Yeah.
kind of add it up a little bit more.
So now there's actually a whole new box office. But this was
This
between
was-
the weeks
yeah.
of November 22nd and the 24th.
So, yeah.
before Thanksgiving, yeah.
But we all saw some films this past week.
Yeah. I was busy this week. I watched.
Yeah, you saw 3.
I saw 3 movies.
Vic, you saw Delivery Man,
I saw
correct?
Delivery Man, which I'm pretty sure that the studios found out that we recorded the show and basically saw what I said about it.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's great, it's heartwarming,
Yeah.
pulls at the heartstrings, you might cry a little bit.
Did
But
they
it was
actually
really good.
did they actually tag you like when they had the like?
They were like, shout out to
where-
Toy 23, like hashtag Movie Talk Radio kind of thing.
Yeah, like where it says. Funny.
Like the critic.
Yeah.
They
Did
should have.
they put you on there?
They should have, because everything I did say that night was what's on the, the
So
trailer.
they stole
so.
your words.
I see that happening a lot.
But
Like,
it's really good. You guys should check it out. So
I might actually check it out.
I see that happening a lot where we talk about something and we say certain things, and the next day I'll see news about it and they'll say practically the same thing we said. So maybe someone is listening.
So we are
We know
your
what we're
source.
talking about.
Exactly.
If you're out there, you're not alone.
All right, Neo. But I did mention something about it was kind of like Fred Claus, which you said that you liked.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
Yeah,
Not
so
bad.
it's kind of one of those seasonal type of movies, but it was really good. So Delivery
He
Man.
does a lot of those. I tend to notice.
Yeah, he does.
Kobe Smulders was our Woman Crush Wednesday as well, who was also in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Legendary.
Wait for it.
Legend.
Dairy.
There.
You saw The Heat, didn't you, Brian?
I did see The Heat. I mean, I kept hearing a lot of people like, "Oh, The Heat's a funny movie, Melissa McCarthy." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna finally sit down," because I watched Identity Thief and that was hilarious. But I was a little disappointed in this one. It wasn't as funny as like I was expecting. Like, because people I think probably just like raved too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, but definitely not as funny as Identity Thief.
Female comedy. I don't think Sandra Bullock's that funny. She's
She-
more
I
of
mean,
a dramatic actor.
She's more of a dramatic actor. I didn't really have a problem with her like comedic performance. Like, I don't know. The one thing I kind of got annoyed by is like there was like certain scenes that they like had in the trailer that wasn't actually in the movie, which
Mm-hmm.
I hate that.
Happens all the
I
time.
really hate that.
False advertising.
It is. I hated it because it, like the scene I'm talking about is like the scene where they're at the bar and they like clunk glasses and like it ends up cutting Sandra Bullock's hand
Oh,
and she
yeah.
screams and then Melissa McCarthy just passes out on the pool table.
Not in this. Not
Wasn't
in the movie.
it? Yeah, wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
What
that's-
is up with
Maybe
that?
it was just kind of played out.
Maybe. I mean,
Is that why they might cut things?
I'm not sure.
A lot of people see it all the time. It's in the trailers, so
I think it's to
But-
draw people into the theaters.
But see, that's just it though. Like sometimes people want to see it after
Yeah.
they've seen it in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on. To me, that's like false advertisement.
Yep. It's just to get people in the seats.
It's
Happens
like,
all the
don't
time.
do that.
Like
I don't trust people that laugh in the movie theater during trailers, because you should have seen that by now.
yeah.
They're like, oh, Bad Grandpa, it was hilarious. Like, yeah, we've seen that like a million times now. It's still funny, don't get me wrong, but it's like, is this your first time seeing it?
Yeah. It's been out for a while.
Maybe you shouldn't be in a theater right now.
But
I don't know. I mean, it's not like I said, it's not a bad movie, but
It wasn't bad. I actually kind of enjoyed it, so.
we also, me and Brian, we both saw the Way Way Back.
that one was an awesome movie.
It was written and directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash. Starred Steve Carell, Tony Colletti, Allison Janney, Anna Sophia Robb, Liam James, and Sam Rockwell.
Did you even mention Steve Carell?
Yeah, he was the first one.
Okay, just wanted to make sure because last time when we did this,
I didn't mention
you mentioned
Sam Rockwell, but
who
I
is awesome actor.
I mentioned him this time.
Good, because he's one of the main characters.
It's about a shy 14-year-old Duncan goes on a summer vacation with his mother, her overbearing boyfriend, and her boyfriend's daughter. Having a rough time fitting in, Duncan finds an unexpected friend in Owen, manager of the Water Whiz Water Park.
And this was an independent film.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what film festival it was, but it was like highly reviewed. Like
It did well.
it did amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was
I really enjoyed
it was enjoying.
Yes.
For sure.
It reminded me a lot of like Meatballs
In Adventureland, you
and
said?
Adventureland. Yeah,
Yeah, I could
it was
see
an
it.
awesome movie. I enjoyed
Which
it.
Adventureland was one of Vic's picks, so you
No,
know
it
it's
was.
good.
Yes.
So
That's how you know it's good.
that's when you know it's good. And Adventureland was good in its own way, so
Yes. I think if I remember, I think the IMDb rated this movie a 7.9 out of 10.
it's pretty
If I
good.
remember correctly.
Basically an 8.
Yeah, rounding up. But the other movie that me and Brian both saw, The Hunger Games: Catching Fire,
Holy crap!
which was number 1 in the box office. It was directed by Francis Lawrence. It was written by Simon Beaufoy and Michael Arndt, as everyone might recognize that name. He was kicked off the Star Wars 7 writing team. It was based on the novel by Suzanne Collins, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Woody Harrelson, Donald Sutherland, Lenny Kravitz, Elizabeth Banks, Liam Hemsworth, Stanley Tucci, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. It was about Katniss Everdeen and Peter Millark become targets of the Capitol after their victory in the 74th Hunger Games sparks a rebellion in the districts of Panem. And yeah, wow. I mean, 158 million and now an additional 110 million. It's going to be gross in a lot of movie because it was fantastic.
It was an awesome movie. Like I said it before, it kind of reminds me a lot of like the Star Wars, like good versus evil.
The rebellion.
Yeah, the rebellion. It just
Yeah.
it was amazing.
It's a very original story too. I mean, anything's really been done like this before.
Oh yes, that's one of the reasons why I like it, because this is something totally different
Yeah.
compared to like any other movie out there, and it's definitely unique on its own, and it stands out. And for some reason, I've heard people that they don't like this, like the Hunger Games movie. And I'm just
Yeah.
looking at them like, what is wrong with you?
Everyone's gonna not like something. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion on it. But I mean, like we know people who like The Purge, and we're just like, what?
Yeah, don't even get me started on that one.
But I
Brian
mean,
will go on for ages about the Purge.
we could.
It's never gonna leave me because I have friends that I know, like unless I kill them, like I'll always
The
keep
Purge.
hearing about it. Yeah, like The Purge.
But I mean, Francis Lawrence, I think, had a big influence on this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first film was great with Gary Ross, but there's just something about this movie that was a lot different from the first. I thought it was better than the first, and I'm just excited that Francis Lawrence is going to be directing the final 2 films as
And
well.
I must say, Woody Harrelson, you are a very convincing drunk.
Very, very convincing.
Because he was drunk, right?
Yeah, he was. That's some serious method acting right there.
Yes.
Great cast.
Donald Sutherland, you were amazing.
Ooh,
Philip Seymour
Hoffman.
Hoffman, you were amazing.
Stanley Tucci's laugh and his little antics.
It sounds like Little Wayne, Tunchi.
It's
Stanley
always
Tucci.
amazing. But I felt bad because Lenny Kravitz got mugged.
He did. He got mugged.
He should be doing... Never mind.
You tell us off.
He was like, I'd probably better not say that.
Yeah, I should probably not.
It was a great film. I think
so
it's
catching
worth the
up on all of
$10. Yeah, you should definitely.
I'm
You gotta
catching
check
up
it
on
out.
the first one. I was mentioning something about the HD wasn't kicking in when I was
Yeah.
trying to watch it. Trying to watch it a little late. I was talking to Brian about it, but
It's
it
definitely.
seemed really entertaining from what I can get. So wouldn't
Yeah.
mind seeing it, sitting down, HD, all that good stuff. So
Highly recommended.
It's definitely a good movie. I kind of like would love to like see not only the first one again, but this Catching Fire on the IMAX.
same with Thor.
Yeah.
Dark. Did you finally see that?
No, I haven't seen it,
You
but
haven't seen it yet?
anything in IMAX is really just amazing.
Gravity. Which
Yeah.
I still want to see.
I still want to see
on
it in
that.
IMAX as well.
Can only imagine what that would look like.
An eye popper.
An eye popper.
It's
An eye popper.
Speaking of eye poppers, last night it started off as rumors that Paul Walker, of course from the Fast and the Furious, had died. Started off as rumors. We've heard rumors plenty of times. Jackie Chan,
Yeah,
Bill Nye the Science Guy. I think even Chuck Norris might have died a couple times.
Yeah.
But TMZ actually finally reported last night that he in fact did pass away. Walker was reportedly taking friends for test rides in his new Porsche GT in Santa Clarita when the driver lost control and slammed into a tree.
Yeah.
So
He was attending a charity event as well.
it was at a charity event.
one of his charity events.
He even
Yeah.
posted pictures of. I want to say I saw a picture of him getting into the passenger seat of his car.
I
don't
saw
know
that
if
picture.
it was
I saw
when
that
he
picture.
when it actually happened, or maybe it was
Yeah.
throughout the day. But of course, he's best known for Fast and the Furious.
Mm-hmm.
He has been in other movies, of course. But he was actually in the middle of filming Fast and the Furious 7.
Yeah, which
With
made
Vin
me start
Diesel
thinking.
Yeah,
and
it makes
James
the
Bond,
debates-
of course.
Debates a lot of questions.
Of course, we know that movies aren't filmed in sequence.
Yeah.
Everything's
course.
out of order.
So we don't know where, if all of his scenes have been
If he's
filmed,
done.
or if he's done, or if they're in the middle, but it's going to
If
have an
even-
impact.
If he even started, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he started by now, but they're just filmed so out of sequence that it's hard to tell where he's at. And of course, tons of people on Twitter were talking about, this horrific event. People from all of his co-stars, like The Rock, you got Vin Diesel. Actually, I haven't seen Michelle Rodriguez post anything as of this podcast. Checked her Twitter, checked her Facebook. Nothing from Michelle Rodriguez, which was kind of a little weird, I think.
Man, you're cold-hearted.
Of course, everybody's prayers being sent out to him. Love for his family. Tyrese, you got Ludacris, you got Jordana Brewster, Jessica Alba, The Rock, like I said, The Rock, Danny Trejo, James Vanderbeek, Ali Larder, Matthew Lillard, and Idris Elba.
Everyone. I mean,
Just pretty much
they
everybody-
support him.
From what I could tell, he was basically the same guy he played on screen. Just a cool guy,
Pretty likable, from what I've
likable,
read.
warm, just a great guy.
He was a car guy.
Yeah, he was. I mean, when I first read about it, I was on our Movie Talk Radio's Twitter page, and I saw the TMZ article, and it said, Brian Walker passes Paul Walker. I said Brian.
Brian Walker.
I was thinking Brian O'Connor.
Brian O'Spiller. What are you, a serial killer?
Paul.
Is that what you are?
I saw the Paul Walker. It said Paul Walker passes away. So I was like, all right. I posted "Rest in peace, Paul Walker," and people told me it was just a rumor, it was a hoax. And then I found on the internet like a magazine article that said Paul Walker, latest victim of celebrity hoax. So I was like, okay, so it's not real. And then a bunch of other people were reporting it. So I was like, oh my gosh, he really passed away. I mean, I was shocked initially when I saw it. But I mean, that's just.
Well, yeah, I saw.
Sudden
I saw
and-
the Facebook conversation
Terrible.
you two were having about it, and because I was out at work on break, and I was like, "This has got to be a hoax." But then I did my own research, and I was like, "Oh my god, he died."
Yeah, everyone kind of had
It
it. No one
remi-
knew for sure.
It reminded me a lot of like when Ryan Dunn passed away.
Yeah, he wasn't driving. I mean, they were drunk driving. So, I mean, but, yeah, like Ryan Dunn wasn't actually driving. Paul Walker wasn't driving. Like I told you, it kind of reminds me of James Dean when he passed away because he got in a car accident while filming Giant, although I think James Dean's scenes were all filmed, but same situation. He's in the middle of filming Fast and the Furious 7, and it kind of makes you wonder, what are they going to do?
I thought it was fake because Paul Walker died in a car accident. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, yeah, you're just trying to be funny about it kind of thing, but ironic for sure.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. But I mean, what would you do if you're James Wan? I mean, he made a tweet, so heartbroken, can't process anything. He just took over a major franchise after leaving the horror genre, and now you're left with one of your stars no longer around. I mean, yeah, we don't know exactly where they are in the filming process, but I'm assuming he might not have been done. So I mean, you might have to write off his character. I suggest maybe you've got footage of him. Maybe you could CGI him for the rest of the film, and then kill off his character at the end. I'm not sure what they're going to do,
Yeah, it really kind of depends like how far they got with him.
which we
But
have no idea about.
me personally, I think they would have to like just kill his character off somehow in the
Yeah.
story, like do some rewrites or something. But
Yeah.
this is not actually the first time we've had like where a studio has had like an actor's death where it cost them because I still remember when Heath Ledger passed away. What's that name of the movie?
Dark Knight.
No, not the Dark Knight. It was after the Terry Evans.
Mr. Megorium's like Parnassus.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it's
like
called. where
Imaginatorium.
They ended up having like
Several-
Jude Law, Johnny Depp, and
Everybody kind of fill in to
fill
be his
in
character.
for like the role.
Yeah,
Which I mean, it worked good because I mean, it's kind of a weird movie, but
yeah. I'm not sure what they'll do.
really,
It's going to be... Well, like you were saying about Heath Ledger, especially when The Dark Knight... I mean, it was a great movie, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, how much of his death actually helped the movie too?
a lot.
I hate to kind of bring that up, of course, but how much money is this movie going to make now?
Probably a lot.
A
more
lot
than
of
it was
a
going
lot
to
of
now.
money because
Exactly.
Usually, when it stars last like one of its final films, it's gonna.
it's usually always pretty
I know
pretty much up
He's
there.
got a film coming out in about.
Yeah, I was,
Hours.
I was just getting ready to plug it in.
Yeah,
I
he's
can't
got,
remember what it was called though.
I believe it's called Hours.
Yeah, the
It's
Hours
about
or
the
something.
Katrina something or
Yeah.
the Katrina thing. I was actually watching a little bit on a certain website. It actually didn't look that bad.
yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm sure that one's gonna because I remember I think it was only gonna be a limited release, but I'm sure it's gonna be wide release now.
So, I think it's one of those franchises though. The fans just love this series. Like either you love it or you hate it.
mm-hmm.
There's no in the middle. They might just say, he died.
Yeah.
basically, and they could probably get away with it because I think it's one of the only movie franchises in the world that can do that.
Yeah.
Because the fans are so passionate, they can just be like, obviously they'd have to write it into the movie of some way, but
Yeah.
the fans know he passed away. So
Yeah, I mean, it's something easy that they'd be able to do and get away with it, and the fans would understand. But yeah, this is definitely a major trauma for the Fast and Furious.
And just for the movie world in general. And the driver as well. I mean, you can't forget about him.
the CEO of a company,
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, just shocking news. It's always a blow when you lose anybody in general, but in the movie world, it's impactful for the rest of the members of the movie world. So
And it was hard to believe because he was 40 years old and he didn't look 40 to me. He looked a lot younger.
I know.
I didn't I
like
was amazed
25
when
forever.
I was amazed.
40's actually pretty young.
Well, when I was amazed when he said 40-year-old Paul Walker. I was like, he's 40? It's like, he don't look 40. He looks a lot younger.
Yeah.
I was gonna report about it last week. The studios actually want, of course, Fast and Furious 7 coming out. They want 8 and 9 as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see how
I'm not sure.
how that goes.
Yeah,
Sure.
obviously, they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board now that he's no longer with us, sadly.
Yeah, but best wishes to both of their families. That's
Yes.
tragic loss.
Yes. Well, we're gonna stay on the topic of death, sadly, because this past week, Family Guy killed off one of their main characters.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, and surprisingly, I don't know if it was the right move because they finally killed off Brian,
The dog. Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with it. You said it was because of the ratings being so low.
Yeah, they did it because the ratings was so low. It was 19% down from this fall compared to last year, and the show is on track to have its lowest rated season since it returned to Fox during the 04-05 season. So they're doing it for the ratings, and I don't know if this is going to be a help in the ratings or make it worse.
I'm never watching Family Guy again until I hear from somebody that Brian did come back. So I'm never watching Family Guy again, just personally.
I don't know. They ended up replacing it with a new dog named
Yeah.
Vinny, who was voiced by Sopranos star Tony Sirico, who was Paulie Walnuts.
I mean, I could see why they did that. Ratings are down. Let's bring in a new dog. Maybe it will bring the ratings up. But I think in the long run, it's going to hurt them. Because I think Brian's he's like a founding father of that show. I mean, you cannot have him not in the show. And you said they did something with like time travel where they're trying to bring him back.
Oh yeah, they already did. Where Stewie was trying to bring him back, but I don't know.
I think they
Stewie
might.
destroyed his time machine early on in the episode. I actually watched it. It's on demand.
Yeah.
And just the way they did it, if they would have done something better after Brian had actually died, I would have maybe stuck around. Mm-hmm. They just basically blew him off afterwards.
See, I feel like I know for a fact I could I'm just gonna throw an idea out there, and I'm like, to me, I think it would work perfectly. It'd be a win-win situation for both of them, the studio and the fans. You bring Brian back, and you keep Vinny. You have two dogs.
Compromise.
Exactly, because you can't kill one of the most loved characters on the show. Mm-hmm. That'd be like The Simpsons killing off Bart Simpson.
And it's voiced by Seth MacFarlane, who's the creator of the show. So I don't know why he decided to go that route, but I don't know. I think they might realize in the long run it was a mistake and might try and find a way to bring him back.
They should. I mean, like I said, I have no problem if you introducing a new character. I mean, hell, you can keep Vinny. They have two dogs.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what route they go, but definitely a head scratcher for sure. Staying on the topic of television, last Sunday was the season finale of Boardwalk Empire, which I watched. It was pretty good, but surprisingly, the ratings were down from previous years. They'd only brought in 2.1 million viewers, which was up about 200,000 from the previous week's episode, which was their largest audience since the 15th of September. But I mean, it was a pretty brutal night for competition. The Walking Dead comes on every Sunday, so that's a big competitor right there. But I mean, you had a really good Patriots-Bronco game, which went to overtime, was really good. And then you had the American Music Awards. But Brian and I are a fan of Boardwalk Empire. And we've been noticing, I mean, like last season, you had Gyp Rossetti, a very good villain. But this year, it was a little bit slower, it seemed like. Slower paced.
Well, it's not only that. Like I said, I still need to catch up because I didn't stay with this final season, but I kind of noticed certain things in the series, and I can understand why the ratings are dropping, because there's certain things that they're not like really doing. Like, it's more of a story driven type
Yeah.
of franchise, which I can understand that, but so was The Sopranos. That was also a story type like franchise, but yet it had more action to it. It had like a lot more like interesting stuff happening. This, I mean, there's times where it's like, okay, they're just talking about booze. It's boring at certain times.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean,
This was kind of the first season that was like that, though. I mean, the first 3 seasons were pretty enjoyable and watchable.
yeah, they were enjoyable. They had action. Like this one, like I've noticed, like, okay, there's really nothing going on.
Well, I mean, I guess every season might have, or every series might have that season where it's just, Hopefully, the 5th season is a little more entertaining, more action-packed, but it was still a very good ending to the series. It's already been renewed for a 5th season, so we will see season 5.
Definitely need to finish it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they redeem themselves in the next season. Otherwise, they might be in trouble.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, like, compared to other HBO dramas that have had season finales recently, it beat The Newsroom, which made 1.5 million viewers for their season finale. Game of Thrones had 5.4, True Blood had 4.1, so Boardwalk Empire's 2.1 is not terrible, but not great either. But, I mean, they got, like, in the season now, it took place in 1924, so there's still, like, 9 years left of the Prohibition era, so they could go for a while, but, I mean, if they don't pick up the ratings, it could be in jeopardy, but pretty good season finale for sure. But, I don't know. Yeah, Vic, you haven't watched that show.
Not yet. I swapped out my HBO and Showtime for Netflix back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm kind of wondering if I did the right choice. But at the time, it seemed like a
Yeah.
great idea to do.
A lot more stuff on Netflix than HBO and Showtime, but
They never really updated anymore. So
yeah, that's Netflix for you.
yeah, step it
But,
up, Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix needs to just step up their game here. Moving away from the television news, getting into the movie news. Thor: The Dark World, which you guys both saw and spoke very
Amazing.
highly of.
Awesome.
Best Marvel movie to date. So.
Did very
We're
well
gonna
in the
keep
box
saying
office.
it after
Yeah.
like every Marvel movie comes out. The best one ever.
What's a
That's
good thing,
up to date.
though?
It is a good
Mhm.
thing.
Instead of it being, oh, it's the worst one yet.
Yeah, or you
But it's
just
still made-
or you just stop talking about it like a week after.
See, I'm more curious to see like the newer ones, like when Ant-Man comes out, since I've never really heard of them.
I know.
So I'm like,
Don't know what to expect.
yeah, so I'm like, I want to see this.
We don't even know who's playing Ant-Man yet.
Warwick Davis, I'm telling you. Warwick
Warwick
Davis,
Davis.
come on.
Maybe in his Ant-Man form or something, but
You really don't have to.
As a dwarf. But Thor: The Dark World passed a pretty significant milestone as they officially surpassed the $500 million mark, which is making it now the 5th Marvel Cinematic Universe film to do that. So 5 Marvel movies have surpassed $500 million. Do you know how much money that is?
It's a lot of money.
$2.5 billion. That's
Sounds about right.
That's insane. At least I think I can't do math in my head pretty quick. I think that's right. But in addition to that, it also became the 9th highest grossing film for this year internationally. It just passed Sam Raimi's Oz the Great and Powerful. But that's pretty impressive. $500 million, and it hasn't been in the box office anymore for as long as, I don't know, 3
a few months, right?
I don't know. How long has it been out? I don't even know.
I think
November.
it's
It
going
came
on
out November
actually-
7th, I think, something like that.
It came,
So
yeah,
about
like
less than a month?
mid-November.
Yeah.
So it's been
About
almost
3
a month.
weeks. 3 weeks or so. And it's
Almost a month.
But I mean, that's
Seems
crazy.
a lot longer than that, especially for $500 million.
Yeah,
You would think it'd been out for like a year or something.
Yeah,
but
that's-
it's only been a few weeks.
that's Marvel for you. They bring it in quick. Apparently, I didn't see the film. You two did. There was a cliffhanger ending,
Oh yeah.
which kind of left it open for Thor 3. So we should expect to see.
Well, not only
The God of Thunder again.
that, but it was kind of a little teaser for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's what I heard from the end credits.
Sorry if I spoiled that for you, but
You should have expected anyways. It's out there. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. Marvel's there's nothing they're doing wrong right now.
I'm telling you, Ant-Man, Warwick Davis, co-star Liam Neeson.
At the
Yeah.
very end of Thor, at the very end of the credits, it said Thor's coming back. But
Yeah.
it never gave a date or anything. Of course, he's coming back in the Avengers, but I'm sure it's going to be a Thor
Yeah.
3. So.
Oh yeah, you know it. You have to know it.
And to
Well, Iron
answer
Man
the
3,
Ant-Man
so-
thing, Simon Pegg.
Is he
I
not
keep-
doing it? Because Edgar Wright is doing it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So-
And there was that whole thing where he was
Could
at
be Nick
Marvel. Yeah, Nick
Yeah.
Frost.
Matchman.
Simon Pegg. Get Simon Pegg to do it, but that'd be
He's,
awesome.
he's doing everything. He might
Yeah.
be hard to get now.
Yeah, he might be.
He's been very busy. Well, going back to the dead topic.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. I'm nothing but
We're
death
supposed to be
today.
giving thanks, Brian.
It was just Thanksgiving. Come on.
Well, the reason I'm bringing it back to the dead is because we have to talk about a Day of the Dead reboot.
Yeah.
Zombies are coming back
Wow.
in a big way. Well, it was announced this past July that Millennium Films is planning on developing a big screen remake of George Romero's Day of the Dead. This is actually going to be a second remake of Day of the Dead because they did it back in 2008 as a direct-to-home video, which usually is not a good sign. If
Who did it have? Like Nick Cannon and
Yeah, Nick Cannon.
Dina Savari. Or
Ving
something,
Rhames.
so- Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
But George Romero followed his genre-defining Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead with Day of the Dead, which was in 1985. Set in an underground military base, the film follows the zombie apocalypse from the point of view of both soldiers, scientists, and a zombie test subject named Bub.
Bub. Yeah, when you look up the remake, the 2008 version, the poster it's the picture of the Blu-ray DVD. That's how you know it's a straight to DVD release. That's hilarious.
Well, it's funny because like I grew up watching all George Romero's movies, and Day of the Dead was probably the one I least cared for.
Yeah, it wasn't the most successful at all, but I mean, still enjoyable in a way, in a sense. The original, anyways. I haven't seen the remake, but now we're getting a second remake. So
Well, yeah, the producers of this project are promising that it will attempt to honor Romero's original and assure that the zombies will be of the slow-moving variety.
well, I mean, with The Walking Dead's success, I mean, it's time to bring back the zombies. It seems like, right?
Yes, production is planned for later this year with a 2014 release being targeted. But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, zombies are now taking over. It was once vampires with the whole Twilight thing. Now it's zombies.
Hollywood works in trends. It seems like it'll always be that way.
Whatever makes money is what they. Oh, let's make that.
Exactly.
That's making money. Let's do that.
And then let's do 3 sequels, and then 10 years, let's make some remakes off of it. That's just how it works right now in Hollywood.
It's the circle of life. Lion King had it right.
And it rules us all.
Yeah, and the next story we're talking about is a sequel to a classic film, which just grinds my gears. I don't like it at all.
Yep.
Because last week, actually it was a couple weeks ago since we were doing the re-recording, I mentioned It's a Wonderful Life, that they're planning to do a sequel. But now Paramount is saving the day because they're telling EntertainmentWeekly.com that the studio would fight any effort to make this sequel possible. They own all the rights to It's a Wonderful Life, so the studio that originally was wanting to do it, Star Partners and Hummingbird Productions, they don't own the rights. They can't make this. Paramount made a statement. It says, no project relating to It's a Wonderful Life can proceed without a license from Paramount. To date, these individuals have not obtained any of the necessary rights, and we would take all appropriate steps to protect those rights. Why would you want to make a sequel to a classic film anyways?
For once, I think a movie studio is actually doing something right by not letting this happen.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of studios would be, all right, let's do it. Let's make some money. But
I mean, me personally, I know you guys enjoyed seeing it, but The Great Gatsby.
yeah,
Which I liked, except for the soundtrack.
yes, that's
But-
the only problem I really had with it.
Well,
as well.
I mean, like I said, I'm sure it is a great movie, but I mean, the original is a cult classic as well. So, like me personally, there's just some films I think you should not touch regardless.
Unless it's got some good names attached, like we've mentioned.
So-
They're making East of Eden.
Okay, so, well, yeah, I mean,
With
that's...
Jennifer Lawrence
but
and Gary Ross.
So, staying on the topic, if they did decide to do A Wonderful Life, if they had an awesome cast, you'd be on board.
Well, no, I don't like the idea of a sequel. If they remade it with a good cast, a good writer, a good director, I would be all for it. But not doing a sequel. Remaking it's fine if you've got people who are committed to it and have a good track record. Like if Steven Spielberg or somebody, a high, A-list director took over, yeah, why not? I mean, they're doing it with East of Eden. Gary Ross is a very good director. Jennifer Lawrence, very good actress. So why not? The only thing I don't like about the East of Eden thing is they're splitting it into 2 parts. Part 1, Part 2. It's all for cash. Doesn't need to be done. But yeah, I mean, if you got good names attached, it's fine. But this is a sequel, so it's different.
I don't know. I think the whole remake thing it's usually always a gamble.
That's one of the trends right now, like I just said.
Well, yeah,
It's
because
remakes,
there's
reboots.
no originality
Exactly.
right now.
Yeah, there's no originality at all. But I don't know. I'm just hoping this does not happen, and it's kind of looking that way. So thank you, Paramount Pictures.
Doing something right.
Yeah, well, now it's time for this week's edition of
Vic's Pick.
I would ask you guys if you knew what Vic's Pick was, but it's been pretty much a week now, so I'm pretty sure you know.
Yeah, we know. We actually knew before.
Yeah.
There
Because
was
it's a
a
classic.
firefight. I want to include maybe a quote from the movie. So that was a quote. It's from Willem Dafoe's character. But nevertheless, it is 1999's action crime thriller, The Boondock Saints. Directed
Yes,
by
sir.
Troy Duffy, starring Patrick Flannery, David Del Rocco, Ron Jeremy, the Hedgehog. Apparently that's his nickname. Don't ask me
The
why.
Hedgehog.
Norman Reedus and Willem Dafoe, who is an incredible actor. Willem Dafoe is, of course.
Yep.
It's about fraternal twins Connor and Murphy McManus set out to rid Boston of the evil men operating there while being tracked down by FBI agent Paul Smecker, who is played by, again, Willem Dafoe. IMDb has it at a 7.8 out of 10, which I'm pretty sure that's an 8.
Yep, rounding up, of course.
I'm just going to say that's an 8.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
To the east side? In the apartment in the sky or whatever? Yeah. That was an old show, Brian.
Yes, I know.
That was an old show.
Had to plug
Hey,
it
I
in.
gotta throw, like, who knows what
A little references, a little jabs, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, we say everything.
Doesn't hurt.
Unfortunately, though, when it came out, it actually was limited release. It only got released in about 5 screens in the United States for about a week.
Wow.
So it only made about $30,000, which is not good enough to get you in the top 3, of course.
5 screens.
That ain't bad for 5 screens, though.
5 screens. That's kind of unheard of. It's crazy.
Maybe they just didn't have faith in it. It was
Maybe.
actually a really sought-after script.
Yeah.
And then once it actually got made, I don't know what happened.
Maybe low budget. They didn't catch a lot of eyes.
Besides William Dafoe, there
Yeah.
really wasn't too much of like a, if you will, a name.
Yeah, Norman
attached to it.
Reedus wasn't that.
Norman
what he is
Reedus
now.
wasn't,
As big as
Daryl.
he is. Yeah,
Yeah,
he wasn't as big as
basically.
he is now.
so it wasn't good enough to make it into the top 3, which was number 3 was The Hurricane, 5.7 million.
Mhm.
Number 2 was Next Friday. I like all the Friday movies, man.
They're good. They're good.
They're just hilarious, which made 5.75 million, a little bit more than The Hurricane. And number 1 was Eye of the Beholder, which made 5.9 million.
You know what would have made Friday a lot, like the next Friday would have been a lot better if they
Chris
actually
Tucker.
had Chris Tucker in it.
He's coming back. Like they're all coming back for the new one.
Oh, good.
I believe it's called Last Friday. I
Yeah.
could be
Yeah.
making that up, but it's called Last Friday.
I swear,
should
how many
become-
Friday? Last Friday, the Friday,
Friday,
after that
next Friday, Friday after next.
You know,
Is
I
that it?
had something I was going to say, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, just don't
I'm
say
not
it.
going to say it.
Friday after Black Friday.
I was gonna
Like
say
Black
they
Friday
should-
or something,
Yeah,
or
Black
like-
Friday. Like they could do it like where they're trying to like buy Christmas goods or something.
There you go.
That was Friday after next though. It was a Christmas one.
Was
Well,
it?
yeah, I know, but I'm saying like where they're actually going to shop. on
Black Friday.
They're never gonna shop. They can't keep jobs, Craig. Come on, Craig. They can't
They,
keep
they
jobs.
sell weed.
Well, yeah.
It was the Mexicans that did it.
Chris Tucker did it in the first one.
Well, that's why he's in rehab now. Okay, but
Do you really think he's gonna still like come back in the movie and like
Angel
be
Dust.
clean?
Angel, I mean, I don't know. So if you've seen the Friday movies, that was number 2 that weekend. But we do have some, of course, fun movie facts. Patrick Swayze, Stephen Dorff, and Robert De Niro each passed to act in the film.
Wow.
Robert De Niro, maybe Willem Dafoe's character?
That might
That's
have
all I can really see.
that might have put it on more than just 5 screens.
Robert De Niro?
Yeah.
What if they had Robert De Niro and Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, what if it was the
That would've
same
been interesting.
same cast, they just had the addition of
Addition of maybe
That'd be insane.
even Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that
was,
one I'm
excuse me,
kind of like
it was a
kind
bigger
of
name.
like amazed to hear
Well,
that.
you've seen the movie. You know what Willem Dafoe's character is all about. Patrick Swayze, I can kind of see him
Yeah.
maybe dressing up in drag a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
You already
maybe-
did it once.
To Wong Fu.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything, Sugar Noir. Yeah. You can't throw anything at me, Brian, that I don't know.
I'm not trying to throw anything at you. If I really wanted to, I'm sure I could.
The Dutch. Okay.
Yeah.
Another fun movie fact was Kevin Spacey was the original choice for Willem Dafoe's character Paul Smecker. So Kevin Spacey instead of Willem Dafoe. So Kevin Spacey and Robert De Niro. That's not really Boondock Saints anymore.
No, it's not.
And this will definitely not make it Boondock Saints. Mark Wahlberg turned down one of the lead roles in order to star in Boogie Nights.
Which
That's a good movie.
Kind
They
of
didn't
it helped his
specify-
career. So
It's a good movie.
They also didn't specify which lead role it was.
uh
Could have been Willem Dafoe again. Could have been Norman Reedus. Could have been Sean Patrick Flannery.
Could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody in that lead role, but Mark Wahlberg and Boondock Saints. That's a Boondock Saints I don't want to know personally.
yeah, it's good because of what it is. It's a cult classic because of what it is. So
And the last time we
change
talked
it.
about it, when we tried it the first time on Tuesday, Brian said that he didn't really like the sequel to it, Boondock Saints 2. To me, this is one of those movies that was like Anchorman, if you will. It's one of those just, it's there, don't touch it kind of thing.
yeah,
Boondock Saints 2 came really close to the original one
uh
as far as how I liked it, personally. So, Boondock Saints 2, also really good.
I wish I had the sound clip when you said "Don't touch it" from Step Brother. Don't touch it.
Don't touch that!
that was about a 6. You don't want to see me go to 10.
Okay.
You want to see my abs?
I was watching Cops.
That wasn't like the actual quote, but yes, Boondock Saints. Norman Reedus, Willem Dafoe, Sean Patrick Flannery. Check it out. Almost an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. Check it out. Vic's pick for this week.
Great
Cult
pick.
classic.
It's a great pick.
Cult hashtag.
It
cult
got
fashion.
it got Norman Reedus' foot in the door, and then Walking Dead took it to the next level.
He was also in Blade 2.
Yeah.
Which I told you guys about as
Yeah.
well. I was like, wait a minute, Norman Reedus is in here? But yeah, so Norman Reedus, that could have been Mark Wahlberg for all we know, but Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg is still
He's a
pretty big
star.
actor, if you
yeah.
will. So I'm glad Norman Reedus got that role because there wouldn't be no Daryl.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
So if you like Daryl, watch the Boondock Saints.
Have some
Go back
appreciation
in
for this
time,
film.
Yes.
Exactly. So there you go. Check it
Great
out.
pick, Vic.
Yes. Well, now it's time for Name That Movie, and pretty much I name the plot of a movie, and Brett and Vic have to guess that name of the movie later
And you guys
on
as
in the
well,
show.
too. You guys as well.
Tuesday, I had a totally different movie. It was Dutch, which starred Ed O'Neill and Ethan Embry.
Which I still have no clue what that is.
John Hughes wrote the film. Like,
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
It was a Thanksgiving type movie theme, and since this still is a Thanksgiving theme show, I have a new one, also a Thanksgiving theme.
okay.
So here's the plot. Having gotten a taste of college life, a drastically changed farm girl returns home for a Thanksgiving break with her best friend, a flamboyant party animal who is clearly a fish out of water in a small farm town.
I thought that was going to be Just Friends when you first started saying that. But then it said Farm Girl, and I was like, Ryan Reynolds is not a farm girl. So
Yeah, I don't.
this
Yeah.
is kind of up there with Vic's pick, I should say, because no one really knows. You might know it, you might not know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to FYI, the Just Friends wasn't actually a Thanksgiving, that was around Christmas.
It was
Yeah.
cra-
A holiday
Yes,
film.
but
It was a
a
holiday
holiday.
film, yes, I'll give you that, but...
That was a
holiday.
great movie too, by the way.
It was.
You know what?
If it's ever on Netflix, it might be in
I
Vic's pick.
don't. I do not know that. It
Well,
doesn't
you guys
ring a
think it
bell.
over. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, some weekly film fun facts. So do not go away.
Don't go nowhere.
And we are back. Good to be back.
Good to be back.
No complications this time.
All right. Well, it's time for some film facts.
Nice, nice.
The past couple of weeks, we've had a lot of animation films, so I'm continuing on with this trend of animation films. All right, here we go. The 1940 Disney film Fantasia. It came about after the ambitious Walt Disney overspent on the short, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, by hiring revered conductor Leopold Stokowski to handle the score. Rather than writing off the debt, Disney decided to spend more on the short by making it a whole feature. So it started off as a short called The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and then kind of just turned into a feature-length film because he had to pay off his conductor that he hired and didn't have money to do it. So he said, let's make it a feature-length film.
Nice.
Kind of crazy. And
Classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. For the first 4 days of production on The Dark Knight Rises, Christopher Nolan put cast and crew under a movie boot camp comprising 8 films whose tone he wanted to emulate. In chronological order, these were King Kong, Citizen Kane, Cat People, Stalag 17, Black Sunday, A Clockwork Orange, Heat, and of course, Batman Begins.
It's a good list.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He went through all that.
I love Heat.
Yeah, that was
That'll kill me.
on
man.
again last night.
Was it really?
Yeah,
It's
coming
on all the time. Seriously, every time that movie, like I see it on, I watch it. Especially that one scene where they're having that big like gun firing scene on the streets. That's awesome.
Yeah, but that's Christopher Nolan for you. He wants to get that tone right, and he definitely captured that tone in all of those movies.
Christopher Nolan, goes without saying, he's a
He's a genius.
him and J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
I think his better? I don't want to
think-
say better, but who do you think is,
I
maybe
think-
a little bit higher than that?
I love J.J. Abrams, but
I
Christopher
want to
Nolan.
create a Guardians of the Galaxy for film, and Abrams, Nolan, and
Yeah.
Wan are all in it.
Yeah, I think Nolan is a little bit more. I mean,
Structured, maybe,
yeah.
if you will.
He's also Abrams doesn't write as much. He does write, but Christopher Nolan writes all of his work, Inception, everything. But finally, to top off the film facts for this week, during a visit on the set of Jaws, George Lucas put his head in Bruce the Shark's mouth, and Steven Spielberg closed the jaws. The prank backfired when the prop malfunctioned, and Lucas got stuck. I also later joked about it, saying George Lucas would later get back at Spielberg by completely ruining Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So,
Hi-oh!
we're even.
You know, Steven, you should have left him in the shark.
Because then Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull would have been a success.
Yeah, Andy would have not have been raped.
Of course, referring to the South,
South Park episode.
episode.
That's not us. That's all the
But-
South Park.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Where do we even want to start going down that road with that?
No,
or-
let's not
no.
even go down that road.
I just...
I've been trying to forget about it.
if they would have left out the aliens, which was all George Lucas, it would have been a decent film.
And the whole him hiding in the refrigerator.
They actually... That's...
That's actually been tested.
scientifically, that would have worked, actually, apparently.
Yeah, it was tested.
Yeah. Surprisingly.
Carrie, whatever her name is from Mythbusters.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think
but
Mythbusters was the one that... Yeah.
I don't know. Like, me personally, like, the whole alien thing was a joke.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf.
I mean, they might as well have just, like, named it Indiana Jones meets E E.T.
Indiana Jones takes your money.
It does not give it back.
Yes.
One would never get it back, but...
Speaking of taking your money, as you guys may or may not remember, my favorite movie is The Crow. There's a reboot coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people out there have heard about it.
We've talked about it.
Yeah, a little
We
bit.
talked a little bit about it, but
Yeah.
there's a reboot coming up. The last few ones have been terrible. The TV show from a long time ago, I don't really remember it was that long ago, but we do have some news about it. It's kind of piggybacking off my VIX pick, but Norman Reedus is being rumored to be on the cast.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be playing a character called James, but it's not known right now as if he's going to be a good guy, a bad guy.
No detail.
No details yet. It's just being rumored as well, but Norman Reedus is attached to The Crow. I'm a little bit more interested now.
Yeah.
The last one with what's his name, Edward Furlong.
I was just actually bringing that up because I saw that, like, not long ago.
Wicked Prayer, which I really want to see because I actually like Edward Furlong. He's one of my not necessarily favorite actors, but Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies as well. And I just wanted to see it because it's Edward Furlong.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
When he was sober,
When he
and
wasn't,
he had his head on straight.
and when he wasn't trying to like freeze lobsters from a Save Mart or whatever. It was.
I don't. Yeah. See, it was on TV. I can't remember how long ago it was, but I was watching. I think maybe like 5 minutes of it, and yeah,
It has Tara Reid too. That's what kind of.
it was. I was like, why am I watching this?
And the guy from Angel, I forget what his name is, David something or other. I'm sure.
Not important.
Yeah.
he looked weird in the movie too.
But there's already been casting. There's a director, Javier Gutierrez, of course. Gutierrez. And Luke Evans is going to be the lead character of The Crow.
I always forget who Luke Evans is.
We're not. Well, I'm hoping with this. I'm really on the fence about this, but I have to report it because this is close to my heart with The Crow. But Luke Evans was in Clash of the Titans, Robin Hood with Russell Crowe, Immortals with Henry Cavill, who's now, of course, the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in the next two Hobbit movies.
Yeah, that's...
So if he's going to be in the next two Hobbit movies, I'm curious to see. I did see Clash of the Titans and Immortals, but I don't know. I don't know. He might have been a secondary character or something, but we'll see how that goes. So Norman Reedus, maybe in The Crow.
Well, I mean, it all points to The Walking Dead, as in, that's just...
Or the Boondock Saints.
Yeah. Boondock Saints really got him in the limelight, and then Walking Dead got him in the spotlight, because, I mean, everyone just... Oh, Daryl.
That's what he's known for.
Yeah, he's...
I mean, you could buy his vest that he wears on the
Yeah,
show.
he's-
Hot Topic.
just merchandise everywhere. He's one of the most loved
Merchandising.
characters on that show. So, I mean, yeah, he's going to start getting a lot of roles now, like Aaron Paul did after Breaking Bad. Need for Speed, going to be in the new Ridley Scott film. So yeah, he's going to start getting a lot of roles. So that would be big for him. The Crow reboot.
So we'll see how that goes. Like I mentioned, the last few ones have been horrid.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this one goes. But if Norman Reedus is attached, I'll definitely watch it for sure. I mean, I'm going to end up watching it anyways, but this one I'm going to keep an eye out on just because it is Norman Reedus. So we'll see.
Well, we'll see how this next sequel goes because, we always talk about sequels all the time, and that's what we're going to get ready to talk about now because Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton film that was starred Johnny Depp, we've kind of heard about a sequel for a while, but they got a release date finally. May 27th, 2016 is the official release date. They signed deals with the director James Bobbin, who was getting ready to... He directed the sequel to the upcoming Muppets film. Johnny Depp signed on, and Mia Wasikowska, also, who played Alice, has all signed on. So everyone's coming back. But, I mean, this movie grossed $1 billion globally. That's pretty good. It's in the top 20 of the highest-grossing films of all time. So, yeah. We're going to make a sequel, for sure. That's
Guaranteed, basically.
Yeah, that's guaranteed, yeah. The sequel, it makes the 6th Disney film to be released in 2016. They've got 2 untitled Marvel projects, 2 untitled Disney animation projects, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tells No Tale, and then this one, of course, making it the 6th. So they're looking, I mean, they have good years every year, but 2016 is looking like a good year for Disney.
I like how they're making 2016 their year when all the other major movies are coming out 2015.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope, 2016 is our year.
Yeah, we gotta
That's
wait.
fine. You guys
We're
can
gonna
shine.
wait.
Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want. But
Well, I mean, they got the Avengers 2 coming out.
right.
They got a few, but yeah, 2016 so far is
With
just
6
like,
movies.
yeah, that's a lot. But I know Brian wasn't a fan of Alice in Wonderland at all.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, the story wasn't terrible.
Well, it's the same story. It's a Disney story.
Yeah, yeah.
For one, yeah, but like, it's Tim Burton, man. It's Tim Burton.
Well, I mean, everyone like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I could see
Terrible.
I could see how people were upset with that because he really just took that film and made it glamorous, if you will. Which the original wasn't really like that because they couldn't do those sort of things, those special effects. But Alice in Wonderland, that's kind of how it was anyways. In the cartoon, it was, colorful, eye-popping. So, I mean, it was Tim Burton for sure. I mean, you could tell. But that's how it was anyways. So, I mean, it wasn't terrible. The only thing, I mean, the major concern that you talked about is the way Johnny Depp looked.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's how the Mad Hatter looked in the original, kind of. He didn't have a white face like that. But I'm sure, Johnny Depp loves playing those weird roles with Tim Burton. But I don't know. I mean, I saw it in 3D, which was pretty amazing. But I don't know. Like I said, it was based off a book. So there is a sequel to the book. I believe it's called The Looking Glass. So I'm not sure if that's the story they're going to follow, if it's going to be original story. But there is going to be an Alice in Wonderland 2 in 2016. Yeah. So should be interesting to see how this one does. Because the first one did very well. But I know Brian does not.
I liked it. I saw it on. It was actually, believe it or not, it was on Netflix. They actually had a movie on there. Mm-hmm. Go figure.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and it was pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it. So
You should give it a look, Brian.
I've watched parts of it. I just can't get into it because it's Tim Burton. I've lost all faith in him.
sounds like a hater to me.
It's you want to call it? I guess I am a hater now of Tim Burton.
I mean, I agree. Tim Burton's style has changed a lot, and I mean, it's not bad to have a particular style, but some people just not might like the style. But I mean, yeah, his style has definitely changed for sure.
Well, yeah, it's changed over the years, definitely. I mean, I still I have some of his films. I love some of his earlier stuff, like Ed Wood and whatnot. But I've sat down. I can't tell you how many times, and I can't get into it.
And it really all went downhill after Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That was the first film that was like, okay, this just doesn't. It's not right.
I'm a huge fan of both Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, and that movie.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, that movie just kind of kicked me in the gut, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you've been a fan of this long? We're going to make this for you.
When it came out, I was still relatively young, so I loved it. But like looking back now, and my opinion on film has changed a little bit. Yeah, it was not great at all.
The snozberries taste like snozberries. I found out what snozberries are.
What are they?
You don't want to know.
Off air?
Off air.
All right, for sure.
Because we're trying to keep it.
So now you're keeping the fans in suspense. Like, I want to know what that is.
Well, they can always hit me up at the Tory23 on
Yeah.
Twitter. So
there you go.
no, but you don't. It's bad.
But
Snozzberries. Who ever heard of a snozzberry?
there will be a sequel, 2016. So if you are a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, you might be excited to hear those news. But moving right along here. Speaking of Johnny Depp, he played J.M. Barrie in the biopic Finding Neverland, who was the author of Peter Pan. And we're going to be getting a similar type of story here because J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, they are planning a biopic on him that Variety reported that Fox Searchlight and Chernin Entertainment are going to be creating. It's apparently called Tolkien. I don't know if it's Tolkien or Tolkien. What do you guys think?
Tolkien
Tolkien?
or something like that.
Tolkien.
Yeah, I just have an accent.
I don't know.
But
Tolkien.
no, it's not token. It's
Tolkien.
it's Tolkien. You should ask Christopher Lee because Christopher Lee actually is the only
Yeah.
person that really met him
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Lord of the Rings. So
Either
That
way,
was
when
a-
we say it, it sounds bad one way or another.
Tolkien.
That was actually a film fact one week, believe it
Yeah?
or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm just a nerd, so I do that.
We'll ask Christopher Lee if I ever get the chance to meet him. But, I mean, I'm very interested in this because, we've been seeing Lord of the Rings films, The Hobbit, but yeah, it's never been done, obviously. So I've been kind of waiting around for this one. And it's going to be kind of difficult because, in Finding Neverland, it showed how J.M. Barrie, played by Johnny Depp, how he came up with the ideas for what would eventually become Peter Pan. It's going to be a little more difficult for this film where he's creating the world of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings because Warner Brothers owns the rights to The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So Fox Searchlight is on board for this one. So unless they made some sort of agreement with Warner Brothers to borrow some of those rights, or maybe the story of Tolkien comes with those rights, I'm not sure how that works, but they don't own the rights to those two stories. So I'm not sure how they're going to be able to plug those into the film.
It's all copyright.
Yeah.
We mentioned it.
May we please have permission to use it?
Yeah.
You gotta ask Nasty with some ice cream or something. But we mentioned it about how Spider-Man is owned by Sony.
Yeah.
The Avengers are owned by who is it? Pixar, of course.
Who? The Avengers?
Yeah, the Avengers.
It's
Pixar.
Disney.
Yeah, Disney.
Pixar,
or
Disney,
Marvel.
everybody.
Except for Spider.
So we'll never really see crossover. Maybe
Yeah,
this is one of
maybe.
those things where
Well, Disney purchased the merchandising rights for Spider-Man, but not the film
not the
itself.
actual.
Let's work together.
So, I don't think this is a big thing. They wouldn't be, making a Hobbit movie. Fox Searchlight wouldn't be. They would just be using the details, the story of it for, the biopic. But, when you talk about biopic, one of the immediate things that you begin to think about, who is going to play the subject? And, of course, J.R.R. Tolkien, whatever. Who's going to play him? Obviously...
J.R.R. Tolkien. I really hope that came out too, because sometimes the mic.
it was perfect.
So we'll see.
But I posted a picture on our Facebook. I'm assuming it's going to be a younger version of him, but Rolling Stone magazine actually threw out a couple candidates, and believe it or not, you did guess one of them.
When you showed me a picture, or when I saw the picture of it on all of our social media, the first person I thought of was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Which was on Rolling Stone magazine's list.
But I want to see him in every single movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to see him in everything. I don't care what it is.
We don't want you to have a life. You just work
I just want
for
him
us.
in every
dance,
movie.
monkey, dance.
He's really good.
He just, he's
is
probably
good.
one of the best actors out right now.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
agree.
So
David Tennant was another one. He was one of the most recent doctors on Doctor Who. He kind of doesn't really look like him a whole lot. Jeremy Renner was on the list, which kind of puzzled me a little
that
bit.
one I'm baffled on.
Yeah, I'm not
209
sure.
in the house.
Daniel Radcliffe was also on the list. I cannot see that too much either. I like Daniel Radcliffe, but I don't think he's quite there yet.
Yeah, see, the one I threw out there wasn't on that list.
Yeah, and then finally, Ian McKellen. If they were to do an older version, it would make sense. He's in Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, so... Yeah, Brian threw
I
out...
put Damian Lewis on the list. He's from Homeland.
Yeah, I've seen a picture of him.
He looks pretty close.
I threw out Ryan Gosling because it seems like every time we talk about a biopic, he's always mentioned for some reason, but he kind of looks like him a little bit. But I'm not sure if Gosling... he's never done a biopic, really, so...
He only needs to do one biopic, and we all know what that one is.
Disney, because
Yes.
he looks like Walt Disney so much, but
Disney, I swear to God. I mean, you own everything right now. Just do it.
I
Own
know.
us too,
Do
by
it.
the way. Yeah, he's
Do
talking
it.
about owning us. Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah, just own us. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
do it.
Do it.
Well,
No, you zip it up.
I don't know. I mean, it should be interesting to see who they choose, but that's the most important part, is picking who's going to play him. So, I mean, maybe we'll hear something soon, but definitely interesting. And J.R.R. Tolkien, whatever biopic, coming soon via Fox Searchlight and Chernin Entertainment.
Lock it up.
You
You
lock it up.
You lock,
Lock
it
it
up.
up.
Were they built for comfort or built for speed? But earlier in the show, when we all kicked it off, I should say, we talked about a huge star going into rehab. And I don't know if maybe you guys have heard by now or not, but U.S. Weekly is reporting that Josh Brolin checked into rehab.
How do you know my name?
I've known you for a while. No, I'm just kidding.
That's probably what he's doing in rehab.
He's trying to quote unquote live up to his promise he's living up to his promise to quit drinking. Basically, he checked himself into a Northern California rehab substance abuse center. The 45-year-old recently made headlines for allegedly just being drunk, man, in public.
I wonder if it has
TMZ,
anything to do with his divorce that I know he's going through.
maybe.
Well, it makes you think maybe about the Jurassic World and Batman if he missed out because of this.
There's videos on him on TMZ just being drunk and hitting people, getting into a fight in Santa Monica, and he's yelling at a taxi cab driver. But the next day, after all these videos were posted, he actually talked to TMZ, and he said that he was completely done with alcohol, quote unquote. So the thing that I found most shocking too is this isn't his first time acting out, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
He has already been in trouble with the law for public intoxication, interfering with police, and domestic battery.
Yeah.
So he's 45, like you were saying, and you were saying something about Jurassic World.
Yeah.
He was rumored to be the new Batman in Batman vs Superman.
So this might have caused it.
This maybe is just
Yeah.
a problem that's been going on for him. And
Studios don't take lightly to these kind of things. Like we've seen on Entourage. It's
yeah.
a great example where the main character missed out because of his bad image. I mean, if you're an actor in Hollywood, you need to portray a good image. You have to. If you're going to try and get some good roles, you got to be respected, and you can't be like Miley Cyrus or something.
Yeah, you can't be a liability.
Yeah. So I mean, it could have been a factor. We don't know, but I mean, especially after because he kind of faded away. I mean, after the Goonies and stuff, but he's been coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he played George Bush in W, and then he's Gangster Squad. All these films he's been doing. And he's been
No Country for Old Men, right?
No Country for Old
Yep.
Men.
I
Yeah.
bought on
Gangster.
Blu-ray for $5.
Yeah. So
American Gangster, you gotta throw that one in there.
yeah. So I mean, he's been coming back, and you don't want to ruin that with a bad image because he's a good actor. So I mean, it's good that he's taking the right steps and going to rehab, and hopefully he's out soon and back getting to work.
Man, can you imagine him as Batman too?
I thought he made the most sense.
Yeah, he would have been an awesome Batman.
Especially for him being an older
Yeah, weird,
tired
yeah,
Batman
perfect.
who's just kind of hanging out in his Batcave.
His
kinda-
voice is already kind of deep, so I don't have to do a whole lot.
He has the facial.
Yeah, he's got the jaw for it. He's got everything. He was perfect. I mean, I liked the pick of Ben Affleck, but I mean, if Christian Bale weren't coming back, he was my first choice. He was perfect for it, but this might have been the reason why.
Christian Bale said that he was done.
Yeah,
He's done. What he did was what they did, and that's it. It's for somebody else to play him now. Is what
Yeah.
he basically said.
passing the
Passing
torch.
up the cape.
Yeah, the cape. There you go.
Passing on the cow.
The, yeah,
The cow?
that's
The
what.
cowl.
Yeah, that's what they call
Not
it.
the cow.
I was like,
The cow.
why would you pass a
Passing
cow?
on the cheese and milk.
Here's a cow. Yeah, the cow. Yeah,
Cow tipping.
but yeah, I don't know.
But speaking of Batman versus Superman, or going down that road here, a report from Fusible, which is a website dedicated to the breaking news via domain name registries, is reporting some possible Batman vs Superman names
Ooh,
for movie titles, I should say.
yeah.
All these, of course, have Man of Steel in the beginning. We don't know if they're movie titles. They might be TV shows. Who knows what it is. But right now, they're reporting that Man of Steel, Battle of the Night, might be a possible title.
Battle of the Night.
Battle of the Night
with a K, yeah.
With a K. Beyond Darkness.
That's a good one.
Yeah, not bad. Black of the Night with a K, of course. Shadow of the Night, which is kind of the same thing as Beyond Darkness kind of thing, but Darkness Falls, which was already a movie.
Yeah.
But if you throw Man of Steel in front of it, I'm sure it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's no copyright. Shadow of the Night, The Blackest Hour, Darkness Within, and those are the ones they're reporting. So,
The first one.
I
Battle,
like the first two.
Battle of the Night.
I like the first two.
Man of Steel, Battle of the Night.
What was the second one?
Or Battle of the Night. The second one was Man of Steel, Beyond Darkness.
Beyond. Yeah, those two were probably the most.
Yeah, those ones.
They ring.
Yeah, they stand
That
out.
kind of sounds like Star Trek.
Star Trek Into
It's like
Darkness.
I kind of see
So-
like the poster when like I hear that like see like when you say the name I can like almost visualize the poster.
But I mean, Battle of the Night makes sense because
Battle of the Night.
that one seems to make the most sense. I mean,
They're supposed to be going up against each other.
Yeah.
Supposedly, rumors has it, but
Battle of
they're going
the-
to team up eventually.
Yeah.
They're trying to do the whole Justice League thing. So, you know, Batman and Superman, they're together. They're not always fighting each other. But we'll see. Maybe they do something from the cartoons, like World's Greatest Detectives, I should say.
Yeah.
That's all
Or
coming
we'll
into
see.
place.
Yeah, it's exciting when you start throwing around names, like we did with Star Wars a little bit, and
Star Wars.
throwing around names. So
But these have all been registered by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So they're doing something with this. Maybe
Yeah.
they just maybe it's like a mismatch of both, I guess. So maybe Battle into Darkness or something. I don't know.
yeah,
So we'll figure it out.
Definitely be interesting when we find out what the final verdict is.
yeah. for
Shadow
sure.
of the Night. Oh, I just came up with the title.
Shadow
Shadow,
of the-
Shadow of the Night with a K.
With a K. Yeah, not with just an N. It doesn't make sense. Didn't some of those just have an N?
I think one of them did.
Yeah, actually, one of them did. It was Shadow of the Night.
Yeah.
With an N. So.
Yeah.
But definitely Battle of the Night probably sounds like the best one so far. Of course, they go into filming in February, so we'll actually see.
Something soon.
Well, so we'll see what they have in mind. Because they start filming in February in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Is it Detroit? Yep. So.
Apparently
there you
they're building the Superman farm again.
go. The Kent House? Yeah,
Yes,
I saw that.
that's-
Hmm. They have pictures of the farm, so they'll be back at the farm.
Sweet.
Nice.
Smallville style.
Well, we're going to talk about a man who's really no stranger to comic book movies at all, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Apparently he is being rumored to star in a Sandman movie with David Goyer also attached onto the project.
Who wrote Man of Steel?
Yes.
And the Batman films.
And the Dark Knight. Yep.
Nice to plug in. I liked how you guys, like,
Went back and
perfect. It
forth
was
on
perfect.
it.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Thank you.
The site stresses that these are still early talks and none of them could in fact come to pass, but the discussions have at least occurred regarding the live-action world of Sandman. Joseph Gordon-Levitt has been linked to a number of comic book-inspired roles, have already appeared in The Dark Knight Rises, the upcoming Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, and being previously rumored for Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange. So, his name's being thrown out there in pretty much every comic book movie known to man, but Sandman movie.
Yeah, I've never really heard of Sandman. We thought it was the Spider-Man villain at first.
Yes.
That
But it's
article,
not. Yep.
that source you got it from was inaccurate because it's now Sin City, A Dame to Die For. So, damn source.
Yep.
But
Ooh.
I actually didn't know he was going to be in the Sin City movie. That's kind of surprising and interesting because you got Josh Brolin in that film as well. Like a pretty good cast. But yeah, he's always talked about for comic book movie roles all the time. Nightwing.
I
Yeah,
think,
you
yeah,
just
I think
mentioned.
they felt bad after like he's no like
You're not
got
gonna- yeah.
pushed out of the Dark Knight Batman scenario.
Yeah, so we're
So,
gonna
like they
we're-
must have felt bad.
yeah, we're gonna give you some comic book roles. Yeah, I mean, not familiar with Sandman. I
Sandman,
wasn't
not
familiar
at all,
with
no.
Ant-Man when that was announced, but we're gonna be seeing these really unknown type of comic book characters.
Just to see how much money they make.
Yeah.
Too. So
Especially-
hopefully they're good. Of
That's
course. But
another trend. Comic book. It's just everywhere. It's blown up right now. But
It's,
he's a young, really good actor, so why not? You know?
Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember. That movie.
Original fan.
I remember that movie. That was a
Fan
good,
since
that was
day
a good
one.
movie. Not to lie.
Tony Danza.
Yes.
Hold me close.
Adrian
Tony
Brody is in that movie as
Danza.
well. And Matthew
Crazy.
McConaughey.
Crazy.
They're all in it. They're all in
Danny
Angels in the
Glover.
Outfield. Yeah, Danny
Yeah.
Glover.
Don't forget Danny Glover, man.
Oh,
He's still
man.
alive and kicking.
Oh yeah.
Making movies?
Christopher Lloyd too.
Blast from the past.
Yes. Another interesting movie. Well,
Reese for this.
apparently this segment has been missed because Vic told me I guess some people have already talked about. Well, it's back
Yes.
for a
it's
limited
back.
time.
Like the
That's-
McRib.
Yeah.
Sponsored
That's-
by McDonald's.
Which is
Yeah,
already
sponsored.
gone? It's gone already?
I in the Stockton Mall it was when I tried to order it, but
Down the street, they were like, "Would you like to try a McRib today?" And I was like, "No, I'll just stick to the
it
dollar
might
menu."
just be at the Stockton Mall where I work. I don't know. But Unscripted Movie Scenes Take 2, it's back for a limited time only. And we got some good movies to talk about for this week for Unscripted Movie Scenes. First one is from Goodfellas, 1990 film, which had Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. Well, Goodfellas had a lot of improvised scenes, and the one that we're going to bring up on this segment is about, in particular, the funny guy scene, in which all the dialogue in the scene was improvised by Joe Pesci and Ray Liotta, where he's questioning, like, why am I funny? Why am I funny?
What am I, a clown?
Yeah,
Am I here to amuse you? Am I a clown?
yeah, the whole scene
Like, I'm
was
here to-
improvised.
Expletive. There's a lot of cussing in that.
Yeah.
So, but
Absolutely.
It's a good
improvised,
scene.
huh?
It's one of my favorite scenes of the movie, too.
All great actors improvise,
They do.
and there's nothing but great actors in that film.
Yeah, it's an awesome film. I watch it almost every time it comes on. And last but not least, we have the 2011 hit 50-50, which starred Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Seth Rogen. The script actually did not call for the main character to shave his head, but it was a Joseph Gordon-Levitt addition to the film. Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt improvised the whole scene and the character during one take of shaving the head.
So where he's asking him, "What do you use this for?"
Yeah,
That was
all improvised.
that just shows you how matured he's become to where he gets so into his role that he says, "You know what? I'm going to shave my head for the better of the movie," and it actually made some sense.
It was genius.
It's the cover, too, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
the
the
cover.
poster.
So very smart.
Very improvised scene because it was a good scene.
It was. That's kind of funny that the whole thing. What do you use this for? He's like, my body. It was a good scene. So that's great. That's all the unscripted scenes. It's all like improv, which is great because I love hearing about that sort of thing.
Oh well, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's why I had to bring it back. When I found this, I knew it was destined to happen.
Don't ever let it leave, Brian. Don't
Believe
let
me,
it
I'm
leave,
always
Brian.
on the hunt. My guys are always out there searching for more stuff for me.
Even if you have to make some of it up, no one will know. Except now
We
they will.
are a credible
Yeah,
podcast.
you just gave it away, so now I have to really be careful.
They will know which ones are fake and which ones are not.
Yeah, so if they come after me, I'm
They
gonna
can,
be
like,
like,
tweet
it
us
wasn't
or
me.
something
It was
what
the guy
it
who
is.
knows the guy
Yeah,
who
they can
knows another
tweet
guy.
us.
They can always message us and be like, "Oh, this one was the fake one."
If they actually know.
Ooh.
If they
Ooh, I think that's a challenge.
Oh,
right
but they
there.
come to us for news, man. So we can't be leading them astray. But also, V for Vendetta, when Natalie Portman cut her hair, when she shaved, well, she didn't do it, but when her hair got shaved, that was in one take as well.
One take?
They had like 17 cameras or something random. But,
Oh yeah, something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can't
You can't.
really
You
do
only
it in
have
one
to do
take.
it. Like you can.
but it
only
wasn't
do
a wig.
once.
She had it. She just shaved. So
17 cameras?
it was
Just a bunch of
estimate.
random cameras?
You had to get it
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's not like-
Angles and dimensions and
It's not like
everything.
you can
so.
do 2 takes of getting your hair shaved.
There's just some scenes that are not... You can't afford to do it more than once.
Yep.
But yeah, that's this week of Unscripted Movie Scenes, Take 2.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's back!
Glad you guys enjoyed it.
Woo!
We're going to get back into the news and talk a little bit more about comic books. Mentioning Spider-Man. We're going to talk about Spider-Man right now.
Alright.
Spider-Man.
Yes, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Well, it appears that Sony Pictures will be following in Marvel's footsteps now because they're talking about doing spin-offs on Spider-Man characters.
Really not surprising. At all.
Like,
Really not.
they've already kind of mentioned about doing a spin-off on Venom, but, like, who else can be, who else can you really do a spin-off on?
Carnage.
Carnage, you have Green Goblin.
Aunt May.
Yeah, throw Aunt May out there.
Aunt May.
That'd be a very interesting
Aunt
spin-off.
May's origin story.
Yeah, that would really be an interesting spin-off.
Back
She
in the
grew up in
20s.
1902. What's his... Norman Osborn?
Yeah, that's the Green Goblin.
Who's
Yeah.
Green Goblin, yeah.
That's the... Villains, really? That's pretty much it.
Shocker.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't know
Rock.
how far they're going to go with it, but kind of expected, right? I mean, that's another trend.
Yeah. I
Spin-offs.
mean, we've already talked about it already. Sony owns the rights to Marvel for Spider-Man, which allows the studio to create any character within the superheroes universe, including villains and girlfriends. The studio could even create, like we mentioned, the Aunt May, but Disney owns the merchandising rights to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird trade-off
Situation.
there.
Yeah. Weird situation. They wanted to own at least the merchandising rights from a Marvel film,
Merchandising.
since Sony won't give them the actual film, because they want to make some money too.
I'm telling you, they should just Sony
Team
and
up.
Disney should team up with the Spider-Man franchise and throw Andrew Garfield into the Avengers world as well.
Millions of dollars right there.
Yeah,
So millions.
Sony and Disney would
billions
be
of
making a
dollars.
lot of bank for this.
I'm sure Disney could afford Sony too. They should just buy them out, just merge. You know, they've done it with everybody else so far, so why not?
Yeah. Well, Entertainment Weekly added that the first Spider-Man franchise with Tobey Maguire in 2002 made over $1 billion. The reboot, which featured Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, made over $262 million domestically.
Yep. Spider-Man.
Yeah, the next installment of Spider-Man is set to be released May 2nd, 2014.
With Jamie Foxx
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yes,
Electro.
and Paul Giamatti.
Yeah,
as the
Paul-
Rhino of
Yes.
all people. Yeah. So.
Maybe spin-offs of those people for sure.
Rhinos.
All right.
Yeah. Why not?
All right, well, since we've been talking a lot about death, might as well keep on talking about it. Not last week, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
mentioned the Brittany Murphy conspiracy right now, the poison conspiracy, where her father did science tests on her tissue, blood, that's a bunch of different things that kind of backed up his theory that she was poisoned when she passed. But Brittany Murphy's mother, Sharon Murphy, she took to the Hollywood Reporter to come up with an emotional and heartfelt letter, and this is what she said. It sends pain through my heart when I read in recent reports about Bertolotti's lab testing results that the family said, meaning Angelo, because he was never her family in reality, she and I and our extended family and close friends were her family. And as she grew in years in professionalism, she was beloved by many, many people, including fellow performers and the great artists in Hollywood. In light of the recent publicity about a lab test Angelo had done, I have asked some knowledgeable people, and they all tell me that analysis from a sample of her hair is not considered dependable unless it is backed up by tests of tissue and blood and other analysis, which he did not do. The coroner did, but they showed no similar results. I am also told one lab may give different results from another lab in terms of heavy metals, and a proper method requires multiple tests before any results are released. So she's not really buying into this whole poison situation. But the report from the week prior was that the Examiner reported that a fresh analysis of Brittany's hair, blood, and tissue were, it was examined by an independent laboratory, and it detected elevated levels of 10 different metals. That's just not coincidence. Unless she was
That's a lot.
exposed to 10 different metals at once, which is very unlikely, there was a third party involved.
Yeah, it sounds like the mother is trying to hide something.
That's what I keep saying.
Something's fishy about it, and the fact that she would bring this up, you're kind of sticking out like a sore thumb in my eyes.
I thought it was stupid when she said she talked to some knowledgeable people. Who are those knowledgeable people? Your
Me,
friends?
myself, and I.
Like, who are these? And she said that there was no analysis from hair or she said that it's not dependable unless it is backed up by tests of tissue and blood.
She's trying to sweep.
which was done.
She's trying to sweep the blood off her hands because I think she's the one that did it.
It makes sense. And her husband died of the same causes 4 months later. She lived with the two.
And I'm assuming she's no longer married with her ex-husband, who's suspected foul play in this whole scenario. So he's probably keeping hush hush because she probably threatened the guy.
And he suspected something from the get-go, so he knew something right away. So this is a very interesting story. I mean, I understand, how hard it is to talk about, how did your child die, but it obviously wasn't coincidence. This was definitely, I think it was murder. It's
I
gotta
have
be.
no doubt. I'd be amazed if it was not the mother, because honestly, like I mentioned, the John Bennett Ramsey case,
Yeah.
where like the parents were like, oh, we don't know what happened, but it was the parents that murdered their own child.
And it makes sense because she lived there. She knew everything about them, their schedules, all that sort of thing. But the thing that makes you wonder is, what was the motive? Why? If she was the person who did it, why did she do it? It's going to be an ongoing investigation, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. But so far, in my mind,
It was a mom.
she's the prime suspect right now.
Well, yeah, not to mention like the way she's going about it. You're like I said, you're sticking out like a sore thumb. Mm-hmm. You're making it seem
Not
like-
buying the poison story. Oh, get away from the poison story. Let's not go into any further detail on that.
I have sources.
Yeah. So
Like who? Like nope, not
knowledgeable people. Who are these knowledgeable people?
no
people.
comment.
People.
they're just people who are knowledgeable. That's all you need to know. It just doesn't compute. It doesn't. It's just I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Too many variables. So.
But yeah, it's just we'll see where this goes because this is definitely not the last we hear of this story at all.
Yeah, let's get away from the whole death stuff on this show because we've had way too much.
Well, as we normally do, we try and give you some Star Wars news, and we do have some Star Wars news. This past week, I posted an image on our Facebook page, and it was of somebody with the Star Wars script. We kind of saw something with the Batman vs. Superman script where Justin Bieber had the script and everyone was freaking out.
Which was fake, so
was
thank
fake.
God.
Yes.
So.
It was for a Funny or Die skit. But this is very much real. Somebody posted a picture. They had the Star Wars script, and it was Jason Fleming who actually had the script. He's been in films such as Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class. He played the father of Brad Pitt in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and he played the lead singer of Steel Dragon in Rockstar, which starred Mark Wahlberg. He played the singer named Bobby Beers.
Yes.
But he posted a picture on his Instagram that with the caption, "Pint of Stella and Star Wars script. That's me sorted till 5." Bleeding Cool is also adding to the report that the endless number of auditions and rumors of castings that we've heard are going to be added because Matt Smith, who is the current Doctor on Doctor Who, has been rumored for a role. He's met with people close to the production, and they're talking about a possible role for Matt Smith. So, I mean, they don't know. The details aren't clear of what his role would be, but a potential, just another name to add to the list of possibles. But Fleming, who had the script, it was, a red script with black print, makes it hard to read. I tried zooming in to try and read the script, but it was practically impossible. He's 47, so there was a recent casting call for a 40-something military man. And since he's 47, he might fit that description pretty well. When we talked about Daniel Day-Lewis meeting with George Lucas, and Kathleen Kennedy, we thought about a possible role. I thought he might fit that description, 40-something military man, but Fleming actually had the script, so I got to think that might be what he's up for. But Matt Smith, if you don't really know exactly who he is, like I said, he's on Doctor Who, mostly known for television work. He's going to be on the big screen soon with Ryan Gosling's directorial debut, How to Catch a Monster. So he'll be in that film, which I've heard a lot of good things about. But I don't know. It's kind of exciting to see somebody with the script, not, knowing that it's somewhat complete to where they can start sending actors copies of the script to start reading. But just some more rumors when, Matt Smith. I don't know if you've seen Matt Smith before. He's got a very distinct face. He's a British actor, very good actor. And they seem to go after British actors a lot for Star Wars.
They're good.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor was in it.
You can't really name anything bad about British actors.
No, you can. I think they play the best villains, anyways.
Because of the accent.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch, though, please.
Benedict Cumberbatch in every single movie.
Yes.
He's got to be related to Darth Maul one way or another.
So Jason Fleming might be in Star Wars Episode 7, and maybe Matt Smith as well. But just a couple names to add to the long list of rumored actors for Star Wars Episode 7. Pretty exciting, though.
I wonder if he got in trouble for posting that. Confidentiality, all that big words and stuff. So
the filter that he put on the picture blurred out the script, so I don't think that was too big of a concern. The caption said Star Wars script, so people knew immediately what it was. But he actually deleted the picture not too long after he posted it. So, but everybody knows
it's out there.
Yeah, everybody knows once you
there,
post something on the internet, it stays on the internet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was out there for a little bit. So, pretty exciting. I want to hear some official news though.
Synopsis or something.
But that is your Star Wars news.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Hearing official stuff on this. Well, we're gonna move right away from the news because that is the end of the news. We're gonna get right down to trailer of the week, which is kind of an interesting film this week.
Yes.
It's called Winter's Tale. Comes out February 14th, 2014. Stars Colin Farrell, Jennifer Connelly, and Russell Crowe, and it's about a burglar who falls for a woman as she dies in his arms. And when he learns that he has the gift of reincarnation, he sets out to save her.
Yeah, it was a different trailer. It had a pretty good cast. Jennifer Connelly's really hot. Just
Academy
gonna
Award winner.
throw that out there.
As is Russell Crowe.
He's hot?
I'm talking about Academy Award winner here.
I know, I'm just joking. But
maybe when he has long hair. But
maybe you like his singing voice. Maybe. I don't know. He was pretty terrible.
Yes, he was.
But people don't. I mean, it's an interesting topic. With reincarnation, people don't make a lot of movies like that, which is interesting because I think it's an interesting subject. I like when people make movies about the subjects that people don't normally talk about, like
Something new, for
Yeah,
example,
Inception was kind of cool because Dreams. People didn't really do that before. You don't see a lot of movies based off slavery, Django Unchained, and then 12 Years a Slave. So I like things that have not really been done before.
Kind of touchy subjects too, if you will.
Yeah, touchy, yeah, for sure. But good cast. The trailer is on our Facebook page and Twitter page. Winter's Tale.
Yeah, definitely a movie to keep an eye on, especially a Valentine's Day movie.
Yeah, it's better than that other film that we saw that's being released on Valentine's Day. When we went to go see The Hunger Games, remember that film? It looked really pathetic and just so cliche. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, that's pretty bad when you don't remember.
Yeah, it was really... The trailer was just so
Rachel
god-awful.
McAdams in it.
I don't
It was
remember.
unknown people. Yeah, it looked so bad.
But yeah, Winter's Tale, that is our trailer for the week.
TOTW.
Yes.
TOTW.
What they said. And now we're going to talk about the new releases that came out this week, Thanksgiving, which was on Wednesday.
Yes.
4 movies came out. A lot of them very well casted.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Homefront right now. Jason Statham, James Franco, and Winona Ryder. It's about a former DEA agent who moves his family to a quiet town where he soon tangles with a local meth drug lord.
My name's Gator.
Yeah. James Franco always seems to be playing like something that has to do with drugs.
Of course.
He fits the bill.
He does fit the bill. I mean, that's all he does. He's a druggie. It's not a secret. He smokes a lot of weed and stuff. I think he's proud of it. That's why I question his acting ability a little bit.
I don't know. I'm definitely curious to see him in this movie. Is how well he can play a villain.
Jason Statham, though, like, I'm not.
He's
He's
a
just
cop, so-
he's pure action, and I mean, I've never really seen him act really per se. It's just all action. I'm not into
He
that.
He's an
acted in a
action
movie.
star.
He acted in a movie called London, which is one of my personal favorites as well. But he did a lot of acting in that. There's no action in that movie or anything, but he can actually act. So
Well, I might have to check that out because I've never really seen him act like have the acting chops. I've
written by Sylvester
action.
Stallone.
Yeah, this film is.
Yeah. So
And I've heard it
Sylvester's
got
not
pretty
that bad.
decent reviews.
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
he's not a bad writer. So
no, he's
He
not.
wrote Rocky, and that won
he
an Academy Award.
Yeah, he won an Academy Award for that. So.
Expendables.
Yeah.
Not saying that they're award winning, but Expendables were pretty good.
They're
so.
good
they're
movies. Also, that came out this Thanksgiving was Old Boy, which starred Josh Brolin, Elizabeth Olsen, and Samuel L. Jackson. And it's about obsessed with vengeance. A man sets out to find out why he was kidnapped and locked into solitary confinement for 20 years without reason. And it is a Spike Jonze film.
Yeah.
It's
Spike
also a
Lee.
remake as
Spike
well.
Lee.
Spike
I always
Lee.
get those two mixed up too. Their name's Spike.
Yes.
Spike. But it's a remake. I want to see how it does in America because it was
Yeah.
a remake. Well, it was a foreign remake, I should say.
Yeah.
So
It's actually not
definitely-
playing in Manteca. The closest it's playing is Modesto.
It's very interesting. There's a lot of family. I don't want to spoil it, of course, or anything, but it's definitely different. I want to say the original is still on Netflix, but
There was actually a recent controversy about the poster saying that it was stolen. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
there was an art designer or something like that that
Yeah.
was working on it. They basically fired him before anything happened or anything, but they
Yeah.
still use his artwork.
There's
And
always-
he just wants, a little recognition. That's all he wants.
there's always some sort of controversy surrounding Spike Lee's films in particular. It's always Spike Lee
Why is
Quentin
Tarantino behind it?
Why was he mad about Django but not mad about 12 Years a Slave?
because of the using the N word too
Because
much.
it's Quentin Tarantino. That's why.
I'm just saying.
He just didn't like the way, how many times they said the N word. I'm like, that's how things were back then. It's a timepiece. You gotta be accurate.
authentic.
Yeah,
It's honestly, I think he has a hatred for Quentin Tarantino.
I think he does too.
Because if it was any other director that made that movie, he probably wouldn't have said anything.
He probably would if he's a big mouth, but yeah, I don't think he really cares for not Django.
James Franco.
Well, he doesn't care for Django Unchained and Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Well, also came out this week for Thanksgiving was Black Nativity, which starred Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett, Jennifer Hudson, and Tyrese Gibson. It's about a streetwise teen from Baltimore who has been raised by a single mother who travels to New York City to spend the Christmas holiday with his estranged relatives, where he embarks on a surprising and inspirational journey.
It's a musical
Yes.
holiday film. I'm really surprised that Forrest Whitaker, an Academy Award winner, is in a musical That's, it looks kind of independently made.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting, though. All black cast. Just like The Best Man Holiday was.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a lot more of those Tyler Perry does it a lot.
Madea.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was
Medea is
right.
always on.
And we saw how well the Best Man Holiday did. So, it being a holiday film,
Yeah.
might get some butts in the seat,
Oh, definitely.
for
Christmas
sure.
time.
Last but not least, we had an animated film called Frozen, which starred Kristen Bell, and it's a fearless optimist Anna who teams up with Kristoff in an epic journey encountering Everest-like conditions, and a hilarious snowman named Olaf in a race to find Anna's sister Elsa, whose icy powers have trapped the kingdom in eternal winter.
Before I knew who was starring in this film, just looking at the snowman Olaf, it reminded me of Martin Short for some reason. He kind of looked like him, so I'm like, maybe it's Martin. I always thought it was Martin Short that was going to be voicing the character, but it's not, which kind of disappointed me. But
Yes.
so we did the show on Tuesday and we made
Box office.
box office predictions, but they've already actually came out.
Yeah,
so,
they always come out Sundays.
so we will not lie, but we can actually reveal the box office predictions.
Brian got it wrong, of course.
I always will.
Brian
I already
got it
knew
wrong.
I was going to get it.
I got it wrong.
Brian had Catching Fire at 1, Black Nativity at 2, 4 at 3, and then you had Frozen at 3 and then 4 at 4, right? I believe that's what it was.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I have pretty good memory when it comes to box office.
I had Catching Fire at 1, Frozen at 2, Thor at 3, and Homefront at 4.
Homefront, yeah.
Yes.
I
That was
had The Hunger Games at 1, Frozen at 2, 4 at 3, and The Best Man Holiday at 4, which it was. So I'm on a 2-week streak here. Maybe hopefully I can keep it going. But that is the end of the show.
Yes.
Our redo is finally over. Hopefully everything goes well this time.
Yes, but before
Hopefully.
we go, you guys have to figure out that movie.
Give me the plot again.
Alright. Give me 1 second. Gotta pull it up.
It was made in '93, so it was before my time. Just 1 year before my time. And it did not sound familiar. Dutch didn't sound familiar.
At all.
Not at
So-
all. This was just one of those movies I had no clue.
And my guess was wrong because it was a Christmas movie more than a Thanksgiving one, but
Yeah, I have no
we'll
clue.
see what it is.
Alright. I'll name the plot for you one more time. Having gotten a taste of college life, a drastically changed farm girl returns home for Thanksgiving break with her best friend, a flamboyant party animal who is clearly a fish out of water in a small farm town.
Is Jack McBrayer in this movie?
No.
I figured he'd be the friend.
I have no clue.
You guys give up?
Yeah, I give up.
Yeah.
It actually is a Pauly Shore movie
Oh, wow. Pauly
Wow.
Shore.
called Son-in-Law.
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I ever saw that one.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah. I figured I'd throw a curveball out there.
Yeah, that was a
Pauly
sure.
Shore, which is probably the only time we'll ever mention him on our show.
That was like a knuckle curve there.
Yes.
Ooh, R.A. Dickey kind of?
Yeah, R.A. Dickey
Yeah.
style.
Ooh.
That was wow.
Yeah, I will throw probably a couple more of like that in the future. But yeah, that is our Name the Plot film for this week. Son-in-Law. An old film.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out if you ever can come across it.
Yeah. Well, we will have a show on Wednesday, I believe.
Wednesday.
Our original schedule.
Yes. So tune in for the next episode of Movie Talk. Enjoy our Thanksgiving special, even though
It's a little late.
but better late than never, I guess
Yeah.
you can say. Check out the new releases that are already out in theaters: Frozen, Black Nativity, Old Boy, Homefront, Trailer of the Week, Winter's Tale, Vic's Pick,
Boondock Saints.
Saints.
Other than that, that is a wrap.
Hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Thank you for listening to the Stallion Radio Network.